5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello and welcome everyone to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Woohoo, indeed, Julia.
This is
me using my inside voice, people.
I know, yeah, because we are inside.
So we are inside. We're usually inside, by the way. So welcome to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences, the podcast where my co-hosts and I listen to and watch all the Cincinnati-based craft beer media from the previous week. We get together to podcast host, and today we are on location at HighGrain, Silverton.
Yes, a place we have not recorded from yet.
No.
Sorry, it's a different table, it's a different setup, so I'm still trying to get myself situated. But I think we're good. We did say hi to producer Nick over at HighGrain, Higher Gravity, excuse me. HG, all the same. Yes.
The other HG, or the OG HG.
The OG, well, not even the OG HG, because that would be Northside. That would be the OG. It's the OG for us, but it's not the OG.
Correct.
How many times, you know what, too many letters.
Too many O's and G's.
Exactly, LMNOPs. We both love HighGrain, though.
Yeah, we do.
The beers are spectacular, and not to step onto the intro, but our Q2 video. Yes, that's right. The video that we are still going to try to be very good about getting at least 4 of them out per year. We're doing on something that HighGrain excels at. Mm-hmm. Yes. So keep an eye on our YouTube channel.
Ribs. No, it's not ribs.
And salsa.
Salsa.
An amazing black bean salsa.
Yeah. My name is Marco. I'm in the alcohol space here locally. I did brew beer for several years. That other voice you heard, I believe I said Julia, but maybe. I didn't introduce her properly because I did not give her title today, which is the best co-host in Podcastlandia.
As Marco said, I am Julia, and if you come to HighGrain, either location, and they have Julia on tap, which is kind of tricky because it's spelled differently than my name, you have to get it.
Yeah, you should.
It's a rule. If you're a Truth Beer Podsequence listener, you have to get Julia when you're at HighGrain. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's all. That's all I got.
That's good. It's a good rule.
Yeah.
It's a rule to live by.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. We're not like those fake-ass podcasts out there. So we actually are having a beverage.
Yes.
And the fake-ass ones, they may be drinking something.
Yes.
But they're not necessarily drinking, craft beer or alcohol.
A craft beverage,
Craft beverage. So we're doing this for you people. This is what we're doing. We're doing this for you.
Our sacrifice.
Julia, what are you having?
Julia.
Of course. Of course you're having Julia.
It is, it's spectacular. It is a phenomenal beer.
Yeah.
I have never gotten it and been upset with my decision.
Correct. Same. I had Julia when we got here, but currently I am...
According to the rules.
Yes, according to the rules. I'm a rule follower, mostly, most of the time. I am having a Lusen, and it comes in a Stein.
Stein, yes.
So I had to do that too.
Absolutely.
Also, another rule: if somewhere is serving beer
Stein,
in a Stein, you have to get a Stein.
Yes.
So another rule to live by.
I'm good with that. The more you know.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
So trivia kicks off here in like an hour and a half-ish.
Oh, so we better hurry up. Because it's going to get packed and loud.
Yes, very packed, very loud. And we want to try to get a video for you. We might do that outside, just depending on how things fill up here. But we have the disclaimer, and then we can just kind of roll on into the topics. So
the thoughts and opinions on this podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with, such as full-time jobs, part-time jobs, third jobs. Higher Gravity, or in this case, it would be HighGrain.
That's true.
If you want to get at us, you can get at us, email, socials, all that stuff. You can find us in the show notes, although we're not hard to find. If you just look it up, we are one of the top Cincinnati craft beer podcasts, if that's what you're looking for.
That's true.
So, that being said, Julia.
Marco.
What did you watch or listen to last week?
There were only 2 pieces of content. Well, 2.5.
Actually,
I will say.
Forgive me.
Yes.
That disclaimer was for myself.
Oh, yeah.
You, if you wish to partake, the gnome can speak for himself.
Oh, yeah. I guess we do have to kind of bring that up again.
Yeah. The gnarly gnome can speak for himself. Gnome, what do you want to say?
Oh, wait. He's not here.
You're not here.
I think he's still mad at us. Has he? Okay. Have you heard from him in the last week? Because I know that I haven't.
I have messaged him a few times.
Has he responded?
No.
Do you think we actually pissed him off last week?
What, with pineapple?
There's no way, right?
With pineapple?
Like, he's a better man than that, right?
We didn't shove it in his butthole or anything.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I did send him a message about where we were going to be.
Yeah.
So,
well, as we do.
Because sometimes he shows up late.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just had a busy week. I'm sure that's catching up from camping and all that.
So, did he respond?
Not yet, no.
Oh, okay. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Okay.
We'll see. Not like I'm watching my phone like a hawk or anything, hoping that we didn't lose one of our bestest friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine. Again, he's probably just busy. I'm sure it's fine.
It's just pineapple.
Content. Yeah. That's on happier notes. I watched Barstool Perspective.
Okay.
And I watched the Weekly Pint.
Yep.
And I queued up Adam Makes Beer and his Industry Pro
podcast.
But I did not get a chance to listen to it.
I also didn't. I have a lot of weird things happening.
It's true. It's
family and work, strange things. Mm-hmm. Settling in. It's not even a regular routine, but I am. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm like a road warrior with getting everybody where they need to be right now. And Rachel's got a lot going on this week. So I just. You know what? I'll raise my hand. We're supposed to be ready on Tuesday.
And we weren't.
And I wasn't.
Neither was I.
I wasn't. Adam Makes Beer. He produces great content.
Fantastic content.
Industry Pro interview happened last Wednesday.
Yes.
So in theory, plenty of time for us to watch. And I did not.
We both failed you guys.
Yeah.
We apologize. We failed you. We failed Adam. We apologize.
I will watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should reach out to Adam one of these days.
You know what? Also, we need to say that there was a teaser put out on social media the other day.
From Stephen A. Smith?
No.
Oh, okay.
There is a rumor that soon-ish, because, within the craft beer space, we also have to add an ish.
Yeah, for sure.
We may be getting new episodes of Craft Parenting Podcast.
Yes, there was that.
There was
a teaser.
Yeah.
It was intentional.
Yeah.
It was like when Alexandria put out that social media post about Westchester.
Yeah. Same thing.
Same thing.
Keep your eyes on your podcatchers, and I'm sure on YouTube and on their blog. Their website is apparently getting revamped.
Sign up for their newsletter.
Sign up for the newsletter, and pretty soon.
Where can people sign up for our newsletter?
I'm working on that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's a lot of work.
If there's going to be a newsletter, I'll write it.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on all of Marco's socials for his newsletter.
Yeah. That'll happen.
But yeah, Barstool Perspectives and the Weekly Pint, again, just so we don't get too sidetracked. And I see the reserve sign on the table behind us for, I'm assuming, the trivia person. So yes, let's... oh
yeah, that's where they set up.
Because they will be setting up...
With the boom box.
They'll probably be setting up within the hour.
With the cardboard?
So yeah. Yeah, they're gonna do some beatboxing on the cardboard.
On the cardboard?
Yeah, we still need to see if we can find any videos of Mike doing that. Mm-hmm. Beatboxing. Totally.
That's when he had hair.
That's what you do. Yeah, lots of it. Yeah.
Well,
there was one picture of him with hair.
It was weird. It's inverted. He had hair and no facial hair.
Yeah. So you think it just dropped?
He hit puberty and it dropped.
His eyes rolled back so hard one day at some stupid ass thing, and just the hair just fell from his head to his face.
Well, why don't we start with Barstool Perspective?
That sounds like a really good way to cut things off, kick things off.
Yes. You could cut some things off. Or we could kick some things off.
It's not like I know what I'm doing. No. This is the Barstool Perspective episode that went live on May the 30th, 2025. Can you freaking believe it's June already? I'm not happy. I named this episode Caffeine Key Bumps.
Yeah.
Because that absolutely came up in this episode.
It absolutely did.
Good Lord. They started off the episode by talking about how Mike learned that bribery costs more than $25.
That's true.
If you want to do it right. If you want to actually get what you're trying to get.
Well... Maybe I shouldn't expand on that. Let's just say it should.
Still on the subject of bribes, the executive director of the Nebraska Liquor Commission was up to no good, so the FBI raided his office, which they normally don't do unless you're doing some really shady shit.
And what's weird is they found several cases of pint glasses. So strange. And a draft system in his garage.
Where did that come from?
Where did it come from?
What happened?
How did that get there?
I will say, ever since they talked about this story, like, I'm noticing all the branded stuff, like, everywhere, like the garage beer, not flags, umbrellas and higher gravity. So I'm like, I hope you paid for those. I don't know what's happening here.
No, they didn't.
It was rolled into the cost of the beverages.
Yeah.
There's a little line item on the invoice that says extras, and there you go. Because Brett and Mike did kind of say, like, they have to charge at least something. It could be 2 cents. Potentially. I don't know. I don't know how all this works. This is all speculative on my part.
Did anyone pick up on the incorrect Spanish that I did last week?
No one mentioned it.
Okay.
So you did good. You got away with it.
Fooled you.
Yeah. Let's see. What else did they talk about? They did have a bunch of reckless speculations on
a lot of that.
What the actual bribery was.
Yes.
Which was pretty good. Was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to expound on that more
because
than we
want you to
already
watch
have.
this.
We want you to go and watch the
or
episode.
listen eventually whenever it actually becomes like syndicated into podcast form.
Right.
Because it would watching them, like the body language, the facial expressions, that is some of the best part about
and watch
this.
their shorts.
Oh my God, yes. And they're not long videos too.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Steve Martin was a prop comic.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. From there, they moved on to talking about how AB InBev, who is a shining example of good business practices.
I've heard of them.
Partnered with Dana White, who is a shining example of being a good husband on an energy drink.
Did you see the article? How many people AB InBev cut recently?
You know,
yes. Yeah.
Yes. It's.
So clearly you also saw that video of Dana White being a great husband.
Oh, yeah, he's fantastic. He is such a great guy. He has never been up for the Scummy of the Year award for Crime in Sports. Never.
Oh, God.
Never. Him and Vince McMahon kind of.
Yeah. Oh, did you see he's back? Vince McMahon?
He
is.
See
that? He's got a new company.
Back. Back. Oh, damn it, I missed it this time.
Yeah.
See, when Gnome's not here, the whole show gets thrown off. Has he messaged you yet?
Is that his wife that's in the transportation?
Gnome's wife?
No.
Vince, yes. Yeah.
They're still married?
I don't know. I don't follow Vince McMahon's activity that closely. But yeah, she's head of the Department of Education, which she doesn't even know that it's not A1. It's AI. I can't.
The steak sauce?
Which, while it is delicious, it does not belong on a steak.
No.
On a burger, fuck yes.
Yeah.
On a steak, no. Unless you have done your steak completely wrong and you need to not taste that meat at all.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. I was kind of sad when I looked up a little more on this story to see that what was it called? Form Energy, and I was thinking FORM Energy. It is from the first Form, PHORM brand, which ripped to them because they actually make some really good protein powder and stuff. I liked a lot of their supplements, but if they are in cahoots with, which maybe they always were, part of like Dana White's sphere, and I just never looked into it enough, but if that's the case, goodbye. Goodbye to them.
Bye,
for
Felicia.
me. Yes, because I try to spend my money where my values are. That topic turned into more sugar addiction talk and talk about taco tariffs.
Oh, good. I'm glad they got
how
there.
Are energy drinks going to potentially take over coffee because coffee is getting more expensive because of tariffs? Will energy drinks fill that void because they're cheaper and they're full of fucking sugar? So, yeah, they had some discussion about that.
It is an interesting rabbit hole to go down.
A rancid rabbit hole.
Speaking
of where we are here, yes.
Right here.
I was still, so shout out to Tank, and when we were on his show that I hope he does a random episode here and there.
What You Into?
Absolutely brilliant, phenomenal show. I was so excited when we recorded with him for What You Into, and I had mentioned something about how I wish I would have saved one of the labels from his collaboration beer that he did with HighGrain.
Yeah.
Because, I make magnets out of them, and he was like, oh, I still have a whole roll of them, and he was able to give me one. I'm like, oh my God, this is spectacular.
Oh, that's
this
awesome.
is like the best thing in the world.
That's awesome. Hope he's doing great.
I do too. He's still posting things on socials here and there, so I think he's doing all right.
Good.
Still doing art and kicking ass, taking names.
Great.
Yeah. Speaking of kicking ass and taking names in a bad way, Kroger is selling your data, which is not a surprise to anyone, but it's not your purchasing information that they're trying to, or that they are selling. It's the items you're purchasing, not where you're spending your money, but how you're spending it.
Yes.
Which I'm sure that health insurance companies have already bought some of that.
It's very bad.
But man, that
is bad.
That is
a reason to buy from your independent alcohol retailer.
100%. Well, just grocer. If you have a local store or a non-Kroger.
I don't care if somebody knows how often I buy, avocados or onions or
toilet paper.
But there are things I don't need, health
Big brother
insurance
to know about.
companies to know.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, agreed. Let's see. From there, they talked about how non-alcoholic beer is set to take over ale as the #1 beer style, only behind lager.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That's insane.
That's dumb.
That
Did they get tricked by an AI model on that one?
You mean an A1 model?
An A1 model?
Probably.
Yeah. That's dumb.
It's
non-alcoholic beer. Take over
still
ale.
and
get out of here.
And I really agree with Brett's point on this, which I think we've talked about before. If I go somewhere and I need to, stop drinking for the night so I can get home safely, or I'm just not feeling it, or can't, whatever the reason is that I'm going for something without alcohol, I could spend, $6, $7, $8, $9 for a non-alcoholic beer, or I could just spend, say, $3 for a water or a pop.
Yeah. I want non-alcoholic beers to be better and better,
Absolutely.
which they are becoming better and better. And there are occasions where I drink a non-alcoholic beer, and sometimes I have several, depending on what's happening or the occasion or whatever.
But I'm talking about if you're going out somewhere.
But no,
you know what I mean? It's
if I am free to choose without any restrictions, no, I'm not having a non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
And the #1 drink in the world sold in packaged is water.
Yeah. Moving on from there, big beer festivals are slowing down and smaller beer festivals are picking up, which
it's the problem.
If no one was here, we could ask him about beer, booze, bonks, boinks, binks, biscuits, bobcats, boobs, and bananas.
Yeah.
But he's not here.
No.
But
what was that, no? Oh, you're not here.
Nothing.
No, but this has been a building problem. The problem has been building for a long time.
Yeah.
And then COVID accelerated this.
I agree.
Which is that beer festivals, the big ones, are really sponsored and funded by the biggest of the brands and distributors. And all they turn into is just a giant...
blackout
distro.
Fest. Yeah.
It's a distro fest.
Yeah.
Like everything that they pour is what they have in distro in that area.
I don't go to a beer fest and get excited because, look, I can get a Truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can get that anywhere. Right.
Oh, my God. I can get a Blue
that
Moon
anywhere.
I can get all that anywhere. And the reason why the smaller ones are doing better is because now they're giving people an actual reason to go out. Other than I'm just getting around a bunch of people that are getting blackout drunk. And by the way, the Great American Beer Fest, which they bring up.
Yes, they do.
They went to 1 ounce samples. Terrible.
Okay, so to me, you need at least 3 ounces, 3 to 4 ounces to even get a good idea of what that beer tastes like. And that's if you're doing, our drinking game is 2 ounce sips. You need at least 2 to 3 decent sips to really get everything out of what you're drinking.
In my opinion,
you can't take one sip and understand that beer. You cannot. You can't get everything out of it.
If you're not pouring at least a 4-ounce pour for a pour, that's a sad beer festival.
Now, to me, something like GABF, where there is so much, again, I agree with you. I think 4 ounces should be the minimum. But at some of these places where it almost feels more geared towards, like, the industry side, the industry people side of things, I think 3 ounces, for as many as probably these people are hitting up, you can still get a good idea of what that beer tastes like. You'll get a better idea with 4 or 5 ounces for sure, but you're not going to, like, anything less than that is just, it's pointless.
Also, the model was really terrible. You get a stupid bullshit plastic glass.
Do they have rinse stations?
There's not
already?
A good way to rinse it.
Yeah.
You know, and
I still taste that bourbon barrel maple pecan imperial stout from 5 booths ago because it's
you get
coated
a Home
the inside
Depot
of my glass.
bucket in front of the thing where you dump it out if you don't want it, which is fine. But
that's fine. But where do you actually rinse the glass?
Yeah, you don't rinse. I mean, there's not a good way to rinse. The way you rinse the glass, you take a hot pitcher of water that's been sitting on the table and you dunk it and then dunk that into the dump bucket. Which
they did have. I mean, the water was room temperature or warmer in most cases, but at the Pomona's Abundance Fest at Urban Artifact, every station, they did rinse out your tasting glass in between, which I appreciate. But yeah, it's these smaller beer festivals also, I think, tend to do a better job of getting someone from the brewery, someone that actually knows about the beer there. So that when you're, I don't know how many times at, like, Cincy Winter Beer Fest or whatever, I'd go up to a table, I'd be really excited about a beer. Oh, do you know anything about this? Their volunteers are like, I don't know, I'm just pouring it.
Yeah,
and
volunteers.
Which, again, props to the volunteers. We would not be able to have as many amazing events just in general without volunteers, but
it's a 3-tier system. They have to be there.
But you know what I'm saying.
But what happens is, you get an owner, proprietor, or a general manager or somebody, they go to the beer fest. They end up networking with the other owner, proprietors, general managers, brewers, whatever it is. The people who actually work, from there, like the 2 or 3, on the depth chart from that brewery, those are the people in the booths. Those are the people that are, talking about the beer and talking about the brand and talking about the space. And then they cycle out with somebody else, and so you get a fresh cycle of people in. But those are good for networking and for knowledge and all that stuff for the owners and the brewers and all that stuff. The social media director and the taproom manager may be there pouring beer, and you're going to get information from them.
Gnome sent us a message.
Oh yeah,
he did. Okay. Hold on.
Oh.
It just says, "Fuck you guys, I'm drinking whiskey."
Okay, that's fine. You know what? At least he acknowledged us.
I'm happy for him. And you're right, he acknowledged us.
Yeah.
Better than the radio silence, but
yeah.
There's always next week.
Yeah.
All right.
There is next week. I'm not going to take it too hard.
No, it's fine.
Just make sure to bring pineapple next week. A fucking fresh one.
Just sitting like where he normally sits. Yeah. All right, 2 more notes that I had on this episode of Barstool Perspective. Forever chemicals in beer. Wow.
Okay.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Okay.
And they will tell you exactly why.
Yeah.
When you watch this episode.
Everybody who's clicking on the clickbait, just go
there. Yes.
Just go
100%.
Figure out what's up.
And then they started wrapping up the show, and I was really excited about the end of the show because at the beginning they said that they were going to give their top 5 beer pardons.
Yes.
At the end of the show, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Got to the end of the show, and what did we get? Nothing. Just a we love you guys.
Bupkis.
Cheers. That's it.
Yeah.
So I commented on the video and said, you really let us down with this. We need a short or a not long video for, Mike, of your top 5 beer pardons. What beers would you pardon? without any repercussion whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, Marco, do you have, we're not going to do a whole 5, but do you have 2 or 3 beers that you would pardon? That you would take off of your shit list and say, you know what? I'm just going to wipe their history clean. The slate is starting anew, and this beer is back on my menu. I don't have a multiple choice question this week, so this is my make Marco panic moment for the show. Yes. Or even just one. Is there like one beer that you can go, you know what? Slate wiped clean, fresh start from here on out. Is there a beer that you would pardon? Or a brewery? Is there any alcoholic entity in whatever form that you would pardon?
This is a tough one.
It is.
Because I don't drink certain brands, and I choose to spend my money a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and I do that because I believe that's the right way to parse my dollars.
I thought about this a lot, and I really couldn't come up with any good answers because there aren't that many breweries or alcohol entities that I flat out just refuse to buy from. Mostly because, like, I'll use BrewDog as the prime example. Their beer's just not good.
No,
so
it's
I'm not going to want to buy it anyway.
No.
The fact that the company shit is just kind of icing on the cake, so to speak. So they're really, like, the closest thing I could think of is there have been 1 or 2 beers from Founders that I was like, oh, this is good, and then I either realized who made it, or, you know, it's a gift, it's whatever.
That's
and
the
I'm
one I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's the one I was thinking because
they've made some really good stuff, but they've also done
there's
some
the
really
racism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that trumps how good your beer is any day of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, think about that. If you could pardon a beer, or a brand, whatever, are there any? I don't know that I would.
Maybe you don't have to pardon all of Founders. You can
but just like a beer, like
just
a
breakfast
one,
stout.
Sure, right. Which I don't know. I never thought breakfast stout was all that crazy. But again, we're in Cincinnati. We have the most amazing stouts coming out of the city anyway. Yeah. So I don't need that. But like that Blushing Monk that Half-Ass Beer Review gave us, that was great. All right, so Brett and Mike, we are expecting you to put out a short about your what beers you would pardon because you failed to give us that in the main episode. Did you have any other notes on Barstool perspective before I get to the sip count?
Nope.
All right. Mike took 11 sips this episode.
Okay.
Which he started strong. He started faster than Brett, so I'm like, wow, maybe we're actually going to have Mike kind of
not an even number, but 2 1s.
2 1s. Brett ended up with 16.
Okay, that is an even number. He was drinking out of
a little cup, though. So, you know, but near, like, halfway through, he really started picking up with the amount of sips. I think producer Dan was holding up a sign like, hey,
they got
to bump those numbers up. Because they got to bump caffeine when you're at Urban Artifact.
Caffeine bump.
27 Totable sip. Totable?
Totable.
Wow.
Yep.
I was trying to do total countables, and I'm like, it's all sips.
Totables.
Let's make that a thing. Why not?
Yeah.
27 total sips. That is 54 ounces or 3.375 pints in this 28-minute episode.
I could do it.
I could try, but, you know.
Okay. Next week.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think we're still good to just kind of keep rolling through the Weekly Pint. All right.
Yep.
Episode 263. A new Braxton Taproom. Garage Beer owns a team, and my ice cream is hard. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah. The schnappening was an actual schnapp.
Yeah.
Schnapps? Is it a schnapps or would it be a schnapp?
It's a schnapps.
It's a schnapps? Okay.
Yeah. The S isn't for plural.
I just wanted to make sure.
It's what it is.
I just wanted to make sure because it sounded weird either way I said it.
It's like Saunders.
That's true.
It's just what it is.
It's what it is. Good old Saunders. And Kroger's and Myers.
Yeah.
Voltage root beer schnapps, which sounds delicious. And he said that maybe there's a new one coming out soonish.
Can't confirm or deny.
Who knows? It'll either show up on shelves or it won't. You know, there's nothing we can do either way about it. Gnome is fond of opening up a 2-liter of root beer, letting it go flat, and then drinking it. He says flat root beer is the only way to drink your root beer.
It's the way the Aztecs used to do it.
I know. If you go back hundreds of years to the original days of the root beer,
yeah,
they didn't have CO2 or a way to really carbonate that.
It was only very lightly carbonated.
Well,
on
that's
occasion.
because they were just blowing bubbles into it.
Yeah.
With a straw.
Yeah.
They would put a bamboo reed or something into it and just kind of...
Like a funzanoon.
You know what? Something exactly like that.
Right.
Let's see. And then after the schnappening, the crowd or the watchers of the Weekly Pint live, Mondays, 9:30 p.m.-ish.
He was pretty on time.
But he really was.
He's pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I mean, for as not on time as it was the week before, this is very on time.
But he has said that, like, Memorial Day weekend, when they all go whenever they do a camping trip,
oh, for sure,
expect the Weekly Pint to be later than normal, but still 9:30-ish. It's not really a show. He's got wiggle room there.
Yeah,
it's fine.
The wiggles.
So the viewers picked his main drink for the evening, which was a Treehouse beer that sounded absolutely spectacular.
Did sound good.
Your favorite style
Sugar
of
maple
all time?
Lager.
Dark Czech lager? Yeah.
Sugar maple, dark Czech lager. Sounds good.
It sounds absolutely amazing. So if he doesn't have a can for each of us the next time we see him, we're going to throw down.
I'll be okay.
I'll take yours. I'll take your can.
Okay.
How about that?
That's fine.
And then I'll buy you like a long drink or something.
Yeah.
There we go. You know
Thanks.
what? Yeah. Let's see. Talked about how is it really summer if you're not getting dicks thrown into your car?
No. And cicadas.
Well, yeah. You know what? I was going to say drive-by dicking would be kind of fun, but with the cicadas out, no one has their windows down right now.
Nobody.
So we can't do that. But
I did see a person on the way to Higher Gravity as we were stopped at a stoplight. They had their window down and their foot up
on the dash.
Not on the dash, but on like where the window would be.
Oh, the side view mirror.
Yeah.
That all it takes is a small collision and that airbag to go off, and you are not doing great.
Right.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
And it's like your
pelvis stopped pelvising.
Okay, did they have a shoe on, or was it like a barefoot?
No, it was barefoot.
The driver, or was it the passenger?
No, it was a passenger.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
The wind whistling between their toes.
Yeah.
You know who I thought would really appreciate and probably enjoy bags of dicks?
Brian Fisher.
Okay, you know who else I thought would really appreciate being sent bags of dicks?
No.
Jimmy and James.
Oh, yeah.
I think that they would get a kick out of opening up a box.
Yeah.
And it's full of dicks. Shout out to someone who has no idea that we exist, but Small Town Murder, Crime, and Sports, and the show you really need to listen to, Your Stupid Opinions. Holy crap.
Oh, it's great.
It is absolutely amazing. All right, going back to the Weekly Pint.
And then you learn about so many things that you didn't really want to learn about.
No. When James gets angry about people in nature, best rants ever. Better than Brett and Mike.
Fantastic.
Absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
Can't recommend that podcast enough. All right, so I don't even know. Dicks in your car window, that's, I think, where we left off. Garage Beer bought the St. Joseph Goats, which is an arena football team. I don't know if they're full owners. Like, did they buy the whole thing? Are they just part owners? I don't know. I didn't really look into it because it's not the UFL or the NFL, so I kind of don't know anything about it.
Right.
I think Garage Beer would be perfect in the UFL-sphere. I can see that being a good thing. However, I do like that they are supporting the smaller sports market.
Sure.
Bring more eyes onto them, just like women's sports. The more viewership, the more attention. Exactly. They support the Cincinnati Cougars.
Yeah.
Because Cougars love dicks.
Yeah.
It is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. So we'll see what happens with Garage Beer and the Goats. There was a comment by, I believe it was Elijah, that said they should make a Bach for them, and Gnome's just like, that will absolutely never happen, which they know who they want to be as a brand, and they're sticking pretty close to it, which I can respect that to a point. They're not trying to be something or someone that they're not. So yeah, we will see what happens there. Speaking of buying things, Braxton is coming to Factory 52.
Didn't we call that?
We mentioned, I don't know if we specifically said Factory 50. Well, what was that?
No, didn't we call that? Like, the more I thought about it, didn't we say that we thought that HighWire, like if the HighWire, or was that off air?
I think it was off air. Because we did have
if the HighWire space came open, I swear I thought I said
someone
Braxton
said Braxton would
take
probably be a good fit, yeah, especially if they wanted to stay in the Cincinnati market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it does make sense. The space makes sense for what Braxton is trying to do. Does the Cincinnati area want or need a dedicated Braxton space? That is yet to be seen. That Pendleton space was just weird. The parking was awful, and I know Noma's huge on street parking is everywhere. Yeah, but I don't know. I think the location kind of what...
I think the biggest part of that is going to help them be successful is owning the outdoor bars.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Because those outdoor bars were actively competing with HighWire.
Yes, yes.
And they also could provide something that HighWire couldn't. Now they could have beer and they could have spirits, and HighWire had, beer.
Beer, right.
But now they have those spaces, and so when all the entertaining is going on the lawn, that's still Braxton's taproom sales.
Yeah.
Bar sales. You just create a different venue in the POS system.
Right.
Is all it is.
And I do have to say, I do like that. At least for now, at least for the foreseeable future, it is almost a partnership collaboration kind of thing. Like, there's still going to be HighWire taps. They're retaining all the HighWire staff that wants to be retained by Braxton, so no one is getting let go, unless they are choosing to go elsewhere.
Look, it's easier on Braxton that way too.
Oh, sure, 100%. I don't know. I think that everything that happened to HighWire with the Asheville floods and everything, it makes sense that when they say, where do we spend our dollars, does spending it on a taproom in Cincinnati make as much sense as rebuilding our Asheville sites? Well, no. Those probably weren't the exact conversations. That's me speaking for them, which, that's my reckless speculation. But if that's...
How much money do they have to... No. It makes sense if a taproom is not necessarily fully supporting itself. If a taproom is fully supporting itself,
then that parent, however you word that, but they're still, they still have to be spending money to send additional product to these other.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, isn't there still?
There is. There's logistics, and that could be the breaking point. It's like, hey, the space could be doing well, but on top of that, we have logistical costs, and then when we add those together with the space, it actually comes out to be a net neutral or even a negative. And like, okay, well then make it easier for yourself.
That's fair. I don't know. I think that I don't necessarily want to say I think it's a good move, because I'm still not 100% convinced that Cincinnati needs or wants Braxton. And I don't say that in a negative, like we don't appreciate their beer. They make good stuff. But with everything else that we have in Cincinnati, fretboards down there, I'm sure that there's another either local brewery that already exists or a new one that could have filled that. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how things fall.
Well, I think
to make a Factory 52 joke, it'll be interesting to see how all the cards fall in a year or two after they settle into the space.
Well, there's been a few spaces that have come open recently.
Yeah.
There's only a few places that seem to be willing to take chances.
True.
And so, in my opinion, Braxton's one of those few places that's willing to take a chance.
Sure. I think they can afford to take the chance.
Yeah.
With all that garage beer money.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, hard ice cream. Is it actually ice cream? Is it beer? Is it frozen beer? Is it ice cream? No one knows what the hell Ill Will Brewing is making.
I don't know. But there was an alcoholic ice cream company. It was like down the street. It was in Mainville. Wasn't it called
there were a couple of them.
Buzz Bowl Creamery or something like that?
Buzz Bowl is in. There's one in Over the Rhine. There's one kind of catty corner from Westside Brewing, kind of up a little bit from Nation, Aubrey and Zach's, where they'll make like boozy milkshakes and stuff like that. It's not a new thing, but this is just something that the packaging...
But a brewery doing it.
Well, and the way that the packaging and the wording and the labels are just the verbiage on them.
Right.
Some of it says like keep frozen, serve fresh, 5% ABV, ale with chocolate and vanilla flavors. But then the picture is a picture of like an ice cream pint with a scoop of ice cream next to it. But it doesn't say ice cream anywhere on or frozen. There's nothing that indicates, is this actually a liquid, a solid, a plasma? What is this? No one knows what it is.
Is that a new phase?
It's been a phase.
It's been a phase?
It's just a phase, but it's been
so
one.
You got liquid, solid, gas, and then plasma? Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm that old that I was only in the 3 phases when there's 4 phases.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Plasma's been around for a while. Yeah.
Well, I was out of school.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I was out of school.
Stop learning about all. Yeah. So Noam's going to try to see if he can find a guy, if he knows a guy that can figure out what the hell is going on.
If anyone knows a guy, he knows a guy.
Up in Columbiana, Ohio.
Don't know where that is.
Is
that Trump country?
It's like probably. It's south of Cleveland. It's like way up over in the. It's like on the Pennsylvania-Ohio border.
Okay.
It's way over there. It's not the little sliver that West Virginia goes through.
Okay.
It's north of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So way out there. It would be a hell of a ride in the truck.
Ooh. Alrighty.
So I would say get in the truck, but I don't know that I want to take that drive.
Don't want to do that.
No. And then Noam ended the episode by recapping all of the different things that we learned in this episode, which
That's
was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Kind of a little recap for us to recap.
I like that. What did we learn?
Yeah. Things that we never needed to know.
Right.
Mostly.
Yeah.
The sniff and a sip count.
Yes.
The total countables, or the totables, as you know,
the totables.
I tend to do.
Yeah.
9 sniffs of his 2 beverages and 8 sips.
Okay.
So that's all right.
That's fine.
50. He does more talking than he does drinking because it is just him.
Yeah.
And he said multiple times, I don't want to just sit here and drink and you guys are just staring at me drinking. That's no fun. 17 total countables in this 53-minute weekly Pint episode. That is 34 ounces or 2.125 pints.
All right.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that. If I can do that, anyone can do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a challenge. Okay.
But yeah, any other notes before we wrap up this episode so that we can try to get a video done before trivia shows up?
Yeah.
This place gets really rowdy.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, Noam, we miss you. We know that you are probably still mad, but just know that it was never personal.
Sorry, what is that, a quote? Fuck you guys?
Yeah, fuck you guys, I'm drinking whiskeys.
Okay.
So...
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Miss you, buddy.
With all of that being said, if you like what we've done tonight on this a little bit shorter episode, just so we can try to get some extra content done, just go to truthbeerpod.com. Links to absolutely everything is there, including how to sign up for our Patreon, which is how you get completely unedited episodes. I do cut out the silences because no one needs 20 minutes of silence in their podcast. Other than that, though, you get all of the... Wait, what are we supposed to be doing now? Like everything, all the behind the curtain stuff.
Right.
And like Marco says, at least 20% of it is funny 16% of the time.
40% of the extra 60%.
Yeah, there we go.
Is good.
That's math and numbers, and I'm just not good with that. All right, well, with that
10% of it's really good.
Yeah, 10% is what...
Main pot.
Well, then what's Elijah always saying? Okay, it's actually funny. Is that the Patreon stuff or the actual, or the public stuff? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. He doesn't know because he's listening to the Patreon, so he doesn't know.
He doesn't know what we cut.
Is.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
I have heard from Half-Ass Beer Review Josh, like, it is kind of funny sometimes. Like, you'll be hearing something and you can tell that there is a cut and that there was something there. All right. With that being said, Marco, what are you going to be doing next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, I think we're going to do this. Probably back at HD, but we'll see.
Sounds good. I will see you there.
Cheers.
Cheers.